I'm 26 years old and I'm on track to retire by the time I'm 40, not because I'm day trading, not because I'm investing in crypto, but because I'm buying real cash producing assets in my 20s, like dividend stocks, like real estate. And in this video, I'm gonna share my exact strategy for how I got to this point and where I plan on going from here. And my ultimate goal is by the time I'm 40 years old, reaching $10,000 per month in passive income from stocks, from real estate, and you guys can track that number on every thumbnail of each YouTube video. Let's begin. And I'm not making this video to say, look at me or be flashy in any way. That's not my goal. My goal is to inspire. I don't care if I make $1 from YouTube. I want to educate people and show you guys that it's absolutely possible to achieve your dreams and retire years early with passive income, because that's my goal. And I think it's the goal of a lot of other people, but they don't know how to get there. I'm telling you, you can get there with just 2 or 3 rental properties, right? Depending on what your number is, what your freedom number is. Mine is 10,000 per month. If yours is 5, you'll probably even need less assets. But I want to show you guys that it's real and it's possible and you can do it. A lot of people will say that it's impossible to retire by the time you're 40 years old. But those are the same people who plan on working until they're 65 or 70. So I'm really excited to share my story and hopefully inspire some of you to follow along and do the same, right? Retire early. So I'll start out here. I was 22 years old. I was living in Florida and I bought my first rental property, guys. This was a big move for me. I was really excited and I got a 2.99% interest rate. I know it's crazy. Interest rates are still kind of stubbornly over 6%. But this was about 4 years ago. I got a 2.99, but I was young and I actually made the mistake of paying this thing down aggressively from 22 to 25. And I got it to the point where if I don't make another payment on this rental property, it'll be paid off by the time I'm 40 years old. I'm 26 right now. It was a 30-year mortgage. Kind of a blessing in disguise though, because that kind of set me on that number 40 where how can I invest elsewhere to reach that point of full retirement by the time I'm 40 years old? Right now, there's a mortgage payment on it. It's about $1,650 per month, but I'm bringing in $2,350. Yes, I have a few expenses, repairs, property manager, but that was a really good start and it got me interested in investing. And I'm now at the point where I'm getting ready to buy rental property number 2. And I'm gonna be buying a duplex. I plan on house hacking when I move into this duplex. That's when you live in one unit and rent out the other. And the goal is it'll drive your mortgage payment way down or even eliminate it. Let's say you buy a triplex or a quadplex. You can even eliminate that mortgage payment, guys. So I plan on buying a duplex in New York and they're a little bit more expensive. So I plan on spending about $750,000 to $900,000. But I think it's gonna be worth it. And I'm gonna explain my plan to pay this one down by the time I'm 40 now. And my plan to pay off this duplex is a little bit different than the plan I had with the single family in Florida. My plan with this is actually not to make extra monthly payments on it, but rather put money into the stock market. And by the time I'm 40 years old, absolutely pay it off free and clear to create cash flow, guys. And I'm really confident that I can get to the point where I'm 40 years old, my Florida property is completely paid off, bringing in that cash flow, and I project with inflation that I'll be getting around $3,500. Well, the New York property, once I pay it off, that will generate probably $7,000 to $9,000 at that point, bringing me at or over my $10,000 per month mark. And I'm really excited about this because real estate investing, I think, is one of the best ways to retire early. And I just want to kind of show you where I'm walking today. It's a beautiful rural area here. It's a beautiful day, a little bit chilly, but beautiful day nevertheless. And I want you guys to understand this too. A lot of this is possible because I'm not spending money on things I don't need, like watches or new cars. I drive used cars, I buy a lot of used things, but I'm saving a lot of money every single month. I bring in about $11,000 per month, and I'm telling you, I invest over 50% of my income, and I'm saving right now for that down payment on the duplex. But before that, I was investing into ETFs and dividend stocks, and that's the core portfolio that I plan on paying off this property number 2 with. But I want to show you guys that it's a sacrifice to get here. It's not an easy path. I mean, there's so many things you can spend money on: restaurants, drinks at the bar, new cars, new clothes. I'm telling you, all of that is not worth it. Once you get the assets, do that. Once you can pay off real estate assets, once you have a big portfolio, then go and do that. Or better yet, use those assets to buy that stuff, right? If you have 3, 4 paid off rental properties, you can afford a new Tesla. You can afford a new, not Lamborghini, but you get the point. Using assets to buy things that you want, that's the better strategy, as opposed to buying stuff you want in your 20s or 30s when you don't really need it. That's when it can hurt you. And while I think real estate investing is the best way to retire early, I really do love dividend stocks as well. And after I pay off that second property, I do plan on acquiring more dividend stocks so I can have that passive income. But I just want to show you how real it is to get to the point where you're retired early just off of 2 properties. I'm not talking about 20, 30, 50 properties. You probably hear a lot of that on bigger pockets. I'm not bashing those people, but I'm saying that you can be a small real estate investor and still reach your goals, right? Think about it like this too. If you had 20 or 30 or 40 rental properties, do you understand how much stress that creates? Do you understand how much time that you have to allocate to maintaining those? Even if you have a property manager, you still have to manage the property manager. I didn't want that. I never want to acquire 20, 30 properties. I want about 3, when it's all said and done, 3 to 5. And I want those to pay me income every single month. I think that's a really smart way to do it. It's a sacrifice to get here. It's not an easy path. I mean, there's so many things you can spend money on: restaurants, drinks at the bar, new cars, new clothes. I'm telling you, all of that is not worth it. Once you get the assets, do that. Once you can pay off real estate assets, once you have a big portfolio, then go and do that. Or better yet, use those assets to buy that stuff, right? If you have 3, 4 paid off rental properties, you can afford a new Tesla. You can afford a new, not Lamborghini, but you get the point. Using assets to buy things that you want, that's the better strategy, as opposed to buying stuff you want in your 20s or 30s when you don't really need it. That's when it can hurt you. And I'll just say this too, when you tell people that you want to retire years early at 40 or mid 40s, they'll actually be pretty shocked, because their plan for a lot of people is to work until they're 65 and even into their 70s, which I think is actually pretty sad. But when you tell them that, they're actually confused, because they've bought into this lie that people need to work and are expected to work into their 60s and 70s. And if they retire before that, they won't have any money. But I'm telling you, if you make sacrifices when you're young, you can get to that point. I'm living proof. I'm literally on track to retire by the time I'm 40 years old, just off 2 rental properties. That's not even including more assets like more dividend stocks or more rentals. I'm telling you guys, this is 100% possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is my first walking style video. I'm trying this out. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you plan on retiring early? How do you plan on getting there? Thank you all so much. Hit subscribe. I appreciate all of you. I'm out.